Wow, Philip, that was beautiful. Did you compose that yourself?
Yes, sir.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
See, I've known Philip since he was in 6th grade, and I remember him composing music as he was out in the lunch with his friends. And so to see you now composing this beautiful music is commendable. And it's a prime example that some of the best musicians in the country are in McAllen ISD. So I congratulate you and continue being creative and continue writing that beautiful music and inspiring people.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Welcome to McAllen Memorial High School, home of the Fighting Mustangs. Memorial's had a long legacy of academic success, and to top that, also athletic success and in the fine arts. We're very proud of our Mustangs, we're very proud of the student body and everything that they've accomplished. And it takes great student performance, parent support, so it's a big team that makes it happen. Today we have Mr. Pedro Alvarez, who's principal of Memorial High School in his first year. Sir, thank you for your leadership. Appreciate everything that you do for the school. And just wanted to ask you, what would you like to showcase today with regard to what's going on in your campus?
First of all, welcome to being interim superintendent, sir.
Thank you.
And we are very grateful that you've led us already as our leader for our principal. So you've done a great job. So I feel smooth transition coming up. I also want to say that we want to showcase a lot of things that we have at Memorial, but specifically we want to showcase our AP program. Our AP program has a capstone section of it that's really doing wonderful things, and we're trying to improve that as well. Another thing we're going to look at is our athletes, student athletes. We got a couple athletes that are going to some great schools and universities, and of course we want to showcase that we are a kindness certified school. We want to make sure we kill them with kindness, like you say, because we want to make sure we transfer that into the community.
Well, we sure do appreciate your leadership, and we're looking forward to taking a tour of this fantastic high school. We are currently in an AP dual enrollment biology course. We have coordinator for AP from McAllen Memorial with us, Ms. Melissa Eddy. And in talking to her, she's explained the rigor that comes with AP and the rigor that students are expected to perform at. And I just wanted her to give us an understanding of what students are expected to do in a course like this. Ms. Eddy,
yes.
Tell us about what it takes and what students are experiencing in this AP course.
Well, we're definitely doing college level work. You know, students in AP courses should expect to have homework at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 nights a week. It could involve reading, it could involve technology assignments. In my class, for instance, I use the flipped classroom, where the students are expected to watch a video at home, and then when we come to school, they have prior knowledge and we can work on much more rigorous tasks in class. There are many, many different AP courses at Memorial High School, ranging from the cores, English, Math, Science, and Social Studies, to the fine arts, including AP Art and AP Music Theory. We also have AP Social Studies classes such as AP Psychology. And we now have a new program called AP Capstone, which allows students who are really, really motivated and dedicated to research a topic that they're passionate about and prepare a 5,000-word thesis and present that just like you would in an honors course or an honors program in college.
So if I'm a parent of an AP student, what should I know about what it takes to ensure that my child is successful?
We do have an open enrollment policy. There's no admissions tests, there's no interview, so really we're very open access. Any student can take an AP course, but the parent needs to be aware that there will be much more work and the rigor will be high and the expectations will be high. So checking skyward frequently to make sure students are getting work done, encouraging their child to come to our weekday academies, and our Saturday academies would also enhance their performance.
Very good. Well, Ms. Eddy, I do want to thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for your commitment to our district and for everything that you do for our students. I know that it's not easy, but I know that you have passion for the game, and thank you for creating this environment where students are having to learn with depth and complexity, because I can tell, I can see your passion, and I can see the students working hard, and I know it's going to help them as they progress in the future. I'm at McAllen Memorial High School with Sammy Llosa, who happens to be one of my ex-students. When I was principal at Cathy Middle School, Sammy was a 6th, 7th, and 8th grader with me. So So I consider her one of my students, and to see her now as a senior taking an active role and making a difference, it warms my heart as an educator. We are here to talk about more than just academics and fine arts or athletics, because at Memorial it's more than that. And the students have created a care-based environment. And I'll let Sammy talk to you about this initiative and how it's rolled out here. Sammy?
So this year, well, every year at Memorial, what we have done is Pass the Hope. So we kind of talk about different suicide facts and kind of spread out the awareness about suicide. And this year was the first year that we had actually a suicide awareness event and kind of involved the community and actually had it at the Hidalgo County Courthouse. So that was really awesome, and we had volunteers from here, and we had parents go, and we had a psychologist talk about the different side effects, and we had people share their testimony. So it was really great for Memorial because we actually got to learn a lot more than just the facts that you find online. We got to actually talk about experience and actually hear someone talk about what they went through. And so I think it was a lot more realistic this year, and so I think that was an amazing project that we had, because it's something that people like to be really silent about, so it was really nice. And then after in January we had a kindness week, so then we've had that every year since my sophomore year, I think. And we have a kindness wall where kids can go and write down really kind notes and put it up, and then we had kindness notes that we can pass in the beginning of school, and then throughout the hallways kids pass it to somebody else that doesn't have one, and it's smile or you're pretty or things like that, just some things really simple. So I think that one was really awesome. And then last year we had a game that against our rival school, Mac High, and I think that really brought in another school, and that was really fun, and everyone got to go, and it just showed that you can put your differences aside and then have a lot of fun and be really kind to one another. Every year for the past 3 years we've been kindness certified, completing the kindness challenge. And this year's another year that we got that. And overall, with all our projects that we do with Student Council, we got National Gold Council of Excellence. So it's just a bunch of accomplishments that we do through Student Council.
Well, I can tell you that I'm very proud of you, and you're a prime example of a product of McAllen ISD and all the wonderful things that our students do. So Sammy's just another example of McAllen ISD being more than just academics. It's about the whole child. It's about making sure that they're in an emotionally safe learning environment where they can prosper and where they can become the best version of themselves. In McAllen ISD, we focus on making sure that our students experience success today so that they can succeed tomorrow. And the only way that happens is if they feel that love-based environment, and that's obvious that that's happening here at Memorial High School. So thank you, Sammy.
Thank you.
I'm with Miss Martin in the Yearbook and Newspaper class, and we're here talking about all the success that Memorial has experienced. And we know that Memorial is a high-powered organization, and it's this program that tells that story. Through Yearbook and through newspaper, it tells the history, it tells the successes, it tells the story, it paints the picture of all the hard work that goes into making it happen. All the great things the teachers are doing, all the great things the students are doing, so that the parents and the community understand that it takes a lot of effort and determination to reach the level of success that Memorial has. So, Ms. Martin, tell us a little bit about what's going on in here.
Well, my Yearbook and Newspaper students produce obviously the publications. We have an online newspaper, and my students highlight different stories. Every newspaper staff member turns in a different story every week because there's constantly everything going on at Memorial. You know, with 2,300 students, with so many clubs, organizations, there's something always to cover. So my students are out and about. My Yearbook kids, their publication comes out one time a year, and they take pictures, they design all their spreads, they write stories, they write captions. They're very, very busy because, again, covering those students between Yearbook and newspaper is a full-time job.
And I would say that the learning that happens in here is very authentic in nature because it's very real world. So I would imagine that this transfers to other disciplines where they're obviously utilizing their writing skills and their reading skills and the communication skills and everything that goes into that. So what's your opinion on that? How does this really help them within the core?
Well, I'll tell you that when my students come back to visit me, they will tell you that this class was the most real world experience they ever had. So a lot of times students write a paper and they just turn it into their English teacher and that's it. That's the end of the story. Well, here, students get to hold on to that memory for years. Whatever story, photo, anything they put in the yearbook, students hold on to that for the rest of their lives. So they're doing something that's going to last a lifetime. And in my class, my students have to go out and interview coaches, they have to go out and interview teachers, they have to go into the realm of students they don't know, they have to get out of their shell. And there's the business aspect of selling ads, creating advertising. We do public relations. It's our job to go out and market Memorial High School because people will judge Memorial High School by the work that my students do. And that's very, very important. So my students, I'm always reminding them that we not only do public relations, we're creating the history book, it's a picture book, it's a reference book. And so there's a lot of jobs that my students have, and it's very real world.
Well, I want to thank you for your hard work and determination, because I know this isn't easy, and I know that it takes a lot of work, and I know it takes a lot of focus. So the children are blessed to have you, and I know that it's going to help them as they move into the future with their jobs and with college and everything else. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as you can tell, there's a lot of great work that happens in this classroom, and the students will benefit from it, and it's authentic in nature, and it'll help them propel themselves to the next level. I'm here with senior Natalie Young, and we're here to talk about what it takes to excel in a highly powered organization like Memorial. Going back to Kathy, when I was a principal there, Natalie was my student. She was a 6th, 7th, and 8th grader with me, so I've known how strong of a student she is since she was back in middle school, and it's very rewarding to see all of her successes moving through. But I did want her to share in her perspective what it would take, because I know that there's 8th graders right now that are getting ready to come into the high school, and they're thinking, I want to participate in many different activities, and I know that Natalie has proven that she can multitask and be successful academically. So Natalie, what advice would you have for an 8th grader that's getting ready to come up into the high school that is a student athlete and is involved in many organizations?
When I was back in their shoes as an 8th grader, I remember he would call us in and we would have different talks, and he would always tell us to have a game plan and to follow that game plan. And like every day on the announcements and things like that, he would remind us that ranking starts the minute you walk in the door your freshman year. And so that's the advice I guess I would have, is to have that game plan and be willing to work for it. You could say you're going to do all these things. Like I could say I want to be on track and soccer and be in the newspaper, but you have to kind of have a plan for that. I took journalism to prepare to be in newspaper. I studied hard to remember to get my grades up to have the high ranking. And I practiced for soccer. I played different sports and I did outside things. So my advice to 8th graders is to know what they're going to do and take the steps to be that person and to be the best that they could be.
Well, Natalie obviously had a solid game plan that she's executed. I'm very proud of you, Natalie, and continued success as you move on to UT and you study journalism. Very, very proud of you. Thank you. We're at McAllen Memorial with 2 of our stellar student athletes. And one thing to keep in mind that is in McAllen, academics comes first. And we have 2 students, Trevor and Jonathan, who are prime examples of being the excellent student athlete who focus on the books and then really work hard on the field to make it happen. I have a question for both, and I'll ask Trevor first. And this is an important question for the community because I know that there's a lot of young kids out there that want to hear from Trevor and to get advice on what it takes. So Trevor, what advice would you have for our young student athletes that like to follow in your footsteps?
Well, first off, hit the books hard. If I didn't hit the books, I wouldn't have the opportunity to play at Stanford or really play anywhere. First of all, to be a student athlete, especially at the collegiate level, you have to hit the books. Athletic-wise, just work hard, work out as much as you can, and be a team player. And when you're a team player, the individual accolades come by themselves.
And I can tell you firsthand, as Trevor's former middle school principal, that this young man has been working hard. I've known him in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I followed his career all the way through. So students, youngsters, take that to heart. Work hard on the books, work hard on the field, and then great things can happen, because you're talking about going to Stanford, one of the finest universities in the country. And I do want you to know, Trevor, that we're very proud of you and all that you've accomplished. So Jonathan, one of my former students also at Cathy. You see, I've been blessed to be with the district for 18 years, and as a middle school principal at Cathy, I had the opportunity of also being Jonathan's principal in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So Jonathan, my question for you is, what's an event that occurred, or what's something that helped you get from middle school to where you are today, being a successful student athlete that's going to go on to play football at Rice?
So I guess at a younger middle school age, I wasn't really sure of what my route was going to be. I just knew that I had to stay on top of my schoolwork and do everything with school, and sports, it wasn't really secondary until maybe that meeting that I had with you, that you took all of the athletes, student athletes that we had at the middle school. You put out a little game plan on the board on how we can make it to the college level if we sit on top of our schoolwork, and then maybe go play Sunday nights if the opportunity presented itself. And I didn't really look at that until you showed me that, so that was something interesting that I put a little bit more effort into going on the field and playing my heart out and then staying on top of bookwork. So it was a good combination and I made it.
And I'm so proud of you. Would you say that from that conversation that we had back in that conference room to today, did the time go by fast?
Oh yeah, too fast almost, but
So keep that in mind. Student athletes, those of you that are younger and coming up the ranks, these are two examples of great young men. These are two examples of student athletes that took hard work and determination to heart. And that's really what it takes at the end of the day. You have to have a vision, but you have to have goals between that vision and accomplishing what you want to accomplish. And I am so proud of Trevor, and I'm proud of Jonathan, and I'm proud of every other student athlete in the district. And I just want to challenge everybody to stay on that road. Hard work and determination, and you too could end up in a situation where you're getting full rides to Stanford and Rice. So thank you guys very much, and I wish you the best in the next level.